Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back for another video. In today's video, I want to talk about now, as in right now. Now is the time to buy altcoins, and I'm going to explain everything that I'm thinking through. But before we dive on in, please smash up that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notifications if you haven't already. Comment in the comment section for the algorithm. But otherwise, let's go ahead and dive on into this. Now is the time. The time is now to buy altcoins. And I do want to say up front, this video is inspired by 10 minutes of a Benjamin Cohen video that I saw. If you don't know who Benjamin Cohen is, he has like 800,000 followers on X and subscribers on YouTube. He makes regular videos, and I don't really watch much of his content. There's been plenty of times, it's like I don't necessarily drink the Benjamin Cohen Kool-Aid. There's been times that I've disagreed with him and I've been right. There's been times that I've disagreed with him and I've been wrong. But here's what I'll say about Benjamin Cohen. He has been talking for years now about Bitcoin dominance and how it was going to continue to rise. And Bitcoin dominance went from 40% in the bear market up to 50%. And we were sitting here wondering, is 50% the peak of Bitcoin dominance? It went up to 55%. Is 55% the peak of Bitcoin dominance? And here we are. 9 days ago, Bitcoin's dominance peaked at 58%. And perhaps it has a little bit more to go, 59%, 60%, something like that. But he just made a video, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, talking about the end, the peak of Bitcoin dominance. And I don't necessarily want to talk about the subject of that video as much as I want to talk about one thing that he said in that video that I think, if you're honest with yourselves, is largely true about many of you, okay? So he said that by the time, this is something he's been talking about for years, that by the time Bitcoin's dominance peaked, many of you would become Bitcoin maximalists. All right, so are you a Bitcoin maximalist? I'm going to revise this a little bit because I don't think most of you, I think actually a very small handful of you are actually Bitcoin maximalists. But here's what you've done instead. You have focused on Bitcoin on one hand and meme coins on the other, and you're of this mindset that utility is dead. Somebody on my live stream yesterday told me that somebody in a Telegram group, somebody running a Telegram group, told the group that he was going to sell the rest of his alts and just buy Bitcoin. He has become a sort of Bitcoin maximalist until he sees altcoins explode, and then he'll not be a Bitcoin maximalist anymore. But the thing that resonated with me about what he said is the masses are always wrong. We are always wrong. I'm saying we. And I try to be counterintuitive, and so I hope I'm not part of that, but there are times that I am part of that. I become a part of the masses. I get caught up in the emotional mindset of where the masses are thinking things are going to go. On certain red days, I may be too bearish. On certain green days, I may be too bullish. Nobody is immune from that. But the thing that I can tell you is, looking at Bitcoin dominance, the thing that you should be, the last thing that you should be right now, is a Bitcoin maximalist. And looking at altcoins in particular, I can tell you something. If you were to Google the Wall Street psychology cheat sheet, I would say that we are somewhere between depression and disbelief. Believe it or not, with altcoins. Believe it or not, this might shock you, depression is the saddest period, but it's also the best opportunity for buying an asset that on the Wall Street psychology cheat sheet is in the depression stage. And I am quite convinced that with altcoins, we are in depression. The reason why I'm quite convinced with altcoins we are in depression is because I can tell you, as somebody who has held cryptocurrencies for more than 10 years now, that I have never once seen sentiment this low when it comes to altcoins, when it comes to utility-based altcoins. I'm excluding meme coins from here. But when it comes to utility-based altcoins, some of you are fully convinced, and you've got to be honest with yourselves, some of you are fully convinced that altcoins are done, that we've entered some kind of new paradigm. And I understand why you would think that. Because meme coins. I've talked about like meme coin black hole theory, that the bulk of the attention for retail is going to meme coins. And I am telling you now, altcoins are not done. they're going to have their time. And now with sentiment being this low, with some of you thinking that I'm crazy for saying now is the time to buy altcoins. Now for the next couple months is the time to buy altcoins. We're going to have a good run in altcoins. And we're going to see, I think, the total altcoin market cap, total 1 and total 2, the altcoin market cap minus Bitcoin and Ethereum, total 3, the altcoin market cap minus the top 10, that we're going to see all of those put in new all-time highs, and you have the potential to see multiple X returns in your altcoins by the end of the year. Now, I'm not talking about 2026, okay? Some of you know I have a counterintuitive view on 2026. I'm talking about by the end of 2024, you have the potential to make multiple X returns on utility altcoins. And so what? Where do we go from here? My suggestion, not financial advice, is that the larger altcoins are going to do better. Stick to maybe the top 30 altcoins. Now, there's some good ones in there and there's some bad ones. I've given my thoughts on that, or maybe even top 50, maybe even top 100. I gave you last week a list of the top 10 altcoins that I'm accumulating, and there is one meme coin in there, Pepe. But I think those are going to be good ones to accumulate. And then here's something that I have been wondering is what kind of an altcoin run are we going to have when the time comes, which I believe would be sometime around October or November. Will it be full-blown alt season, or will it be just an alt moment similar to March where we put in higher highs than March and we get excited for a little bit and then it's over? I lean more towards not 2021 or 2018, but more towards an alt season. Now, not to the extent of 2018 or 2021. I think those days are over, but leaning towards an alt season, something more significant than March. And that is because of Bitcoin dominance. That's because Bitcoin dominance takes the stairs up and the elevator down. And this can happen very quickly over a span of a couple weeks. Slowly climbing up Bitcoin dominance and then back down, smashes down to the 40s, maybe the lower 40s, something like that. I think that's in play for altcoins. And so you guys know, most of you know, my price target for Bitcoin in 2024 is $80,000. And then I'm not bullish for 2025, and I think it's going to go much higher than that after 2025. So the way I would envision this is that Bitcoin hits $80,000. Maybe it does even break $80,000, but hangs higher than the March all-time high for a period of a month, maybe a little longer. And that in that environment is going to be the time that we have where we can embrace altcoins, putting in these huge moves. And then after that, I think 2025 is going to be pretty rough. Well, before 2025 is pretty rough, meme coins absolutely exploding. But in my opinion right now, larger altcoins first, smaller altcoins after that. And then we see Bitcoin get beyond its all-time high. And that's around the time that you want to transition a lot of your gains slowly, because altcoins after a new all-time high for Bitcoin, that's when they're going to explode. But at some point, you're going to want to get into meme coins, and those will explode. And then it will be the end. Just my opinion. All right. But I hope that's encouraging to you, because I have been not as hopeful in altcoins, but then thinking through Bitcoin dominance and thinking, I think Bitcoin dominance is going to peak soon. I agree with Benjamin Cohen. The environment that creates is altcoins doing very, very well, better than I had initially thought. So some hope, right? We don't need Bitcoin to go to $155,000 to make insane gains on altcoins this year. All right. Anyway, that is all I have for today. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful rest of your week, and I will most certainly be seeing you in another video. Peace.